did you email me on this?
I did,
Okay, I didn't get it.
just recently, hun, like this morning.
Yeah, it didn't come
Yeah.
through. Here,
Oh, it didn't come
my
through?
email address is on there, maybe you just typed it wrong. Yeah, there's one.
Oh, good, alright.
Yes,
Well, I
absolutely.
think I emailed it, I
Yes.
emailed it to, Nancy,
Okay.
cause I didn't know what yours, I didn't know if it was Chief Perrin or whoever's supposed to mail it to, so,
It's okay.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
now I have this, so good.
I'm here, so I did get it.
You did?
From Nancy, but I didn't get the email from you. I didn't know if you emailed me specifically, so I just wanted to make sure.
Sheila, how do you spell your last name?
Pellettier.
Okay. Okay. So how many people am I putting out? Let's see, Richard is absent. And Tom Collier. And Joe Gadnows. It's
And John
John,
John Nason, I emailed him this morning, yeah.
What about,
Cause a lot of these aren't on the committee, but
Yeah.
they,
Jamie Pitney and Jim Berthew?
I think we've gone,
Are they no longer on?
they're no
there?
longer on the,
Yeah, 'cause
well,
I don't
we can't
think-
get them to respond to
Yeah.
anything or anything, so.
In the last minutes, it was suggested that we add, someone to our group.
invite Benjamin Ford to be part of our next, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the individual who I met on Memorial Day, and he was very, very interested in getting in touch, and I provided you with his email address.
That's it, I don't know if I have it,
Yeah.
I don't,
So can we put in the minutes that Claude will reach out to?
yeah, I
To
think
see
I
if
need,
he's
do you
interested.
still have the email address
I
there,
hope so,
Bill?
yeah. I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
He was very helpful on that day. He volunteered spontaneously and fairly new in town, less than 5 years, very interested in becoming involved.
Okay.
Oh,
And Sue, you better email Sue and me,
Okay.
cause she's the secretary.
thank you. So are people like, is Lori on the committee? Is Katie Young on the committee, or are they guests?
They're guests.
Okay.
I should have a list of the
Are
committee
you on the
members.
committee or are
I'm
you
a
a
guest.
guest? Are you on the committee or are you a guest?
I believe she'd also be a guest, you know,
Guest,
vital guest.
important guest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, since she's,
In your
since
face,
she's our Hubbardston veterans agent, can't she be on the committee?
Absolutely.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah,
Ah,
Would you like to be?
sure.
Okay,
Yes, yes,
okay.
it makes sense.
okay, so we have
Okay,
to-
we voted, you're on.
And,
I should
but we
check
let
with Laurie.
Laurie know, and she'd have
Yeah,
to
okay.
fill up the 27-page application form.
In duplicate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I was just looking quickly to see what the heck I have in here. I got
Have you
some-
done the conflict of interest?
Yeah.
Good, get you out of the way, yeah. I lied like a,
I don't think I have.
Remember, you're
Check,
being
I did that, yep,
recorded.
check, I've done that.
Mea culpa.
Check, I've done that.
We should get a copy of the, I'm sure I have it somewhere, but I don't know where it is right now.
The copy of
Copy of the who's on the committee. We'll get it from Laurie when I leave here. I'll get a copy. So we know, cause right now we're kinda like hanging out here in the air, just starting to get a nice tan there, Sheila, look at that tan! Okay, so do we wanna do the minutes?
Sure,
Last
pass them
meeting?
out.
Yeah.
You have.
Do you wanna look
Yeah.
at them and
Let's
see if there's any?
Do them?
Do you need 'em?
No need to read them, we'll review.
Yeah.
But once again, Sue, if you have the opportunity, like a week before a meeting, to send them out.
Oh, don't do it like at 9:00 this morning?
I'm not gonna say that. 8 o'clock would've been okay, but if you do that like a week
Oh, yeah,
before,
yeah.
then we can look at them beforehand and have
This-
commentary.
Yep.
Do's and don'ts, yeah. By the way, I'm confident there's over 500 views now with a drone up above. I think we have a substantial number of views, but at the time,
It was 200.
it was at 200 something. Yeah, good. What were the liabilities on the better job from Mott Van? Was there some kind
Yeah,
of-
because we needed a pickup place and a drop off.
Oh, literally a
And-
designated
Yes,
spot,
not
sure.
to just go up and down, you need to be here, I'll be here at a certain time and wait 5 minutes and then go down and drop them off.
I see, yeah.
And then for them to go back, they should pick them right up here at the end of this driveway, pick them up and bring them up to the field.
Good, so designated
So
spots.
not to drive along the road and see people walking and stopping and say, oh, you need a ride?
Yeah.
You don't wanna do that, you have to have a designated spot for them to be picked up so that we can tell them, where do we get the van? Right there, you ready to go back?
And probably one place in the middle then too, because it's a pretty long walk from Rick Field to literally down here.
Right, so that's why they have the one pickup right here at the end of the driveway.
Mhm.
Because if
And
they
then
go
pick
to
up at the,
Rick Field?
yeah, wherever they're parking their
Okay,
cars.
and that's
You
a
know,
pretty
maybe at
long walk
Kelly's,
though.
maybe from Kelly, yeah, they pick them up there,
Mhm.
they bring them down here. When they're ready to go home, they pick them up
Oh,
here.
I see, so you would tell people
So
where
it's,
to go.
you know,
to
every
those spots.
15
Okay.
minutes, the bus is
Yep.
coming, you know, or however long it takes them to get up the Main
Mhm.
Street and back. Traffic, I know that, but every few minutes that bus keeps going, it doesn't stop and rest.
Mhm.
You don't go in the back parking lot and sit there and wait,
Yeah,
no, that thing runs totally the whole
Yeah,
time.
good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How overall, have people come in after and picked up hats and T-shirts?
A couple people
Yeah,
did.
here and there?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Mhm. You still have
I still have,
quite a few?
yeah,
Yeah, so you could theoretically use those for next year.
I don't know if I put the date on the T-shirt. I can't
I don't
remember,
think
I have
you
to go
did.
get the T-shirt
I
and
don't
look.
think,
If I didn't put the date on you,
Yeah.
I think we could use them.
Well, they can have them for half price, cause they're next year's,
Yeah,
which
well,
is
less than.
half or nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
half or nothing, yep.
Okay. I have no additional questions regarding
Do we have any omissions or corrections, or how are we doing with that? All set? Can we have a motion to accept the minutes as read?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as read.
Second, anybody?
can I second it, my own work?
Mhm. Yes.
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay, take a
Sure.
vote.
All in favor?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, so basically, this is gonna be like a informal discussion, what we wanna talk about, what we wanna do differently. I know it's early, but we need to have some things in place by the time we really get down. Like, see, we probably won't have another meeting until maybe November, just to see if we get things together. But the main thing is the damn band. Got us, and I've been calling Quabbin, I get no answer. People don't know who has the band for next year. They don't know, or they're not telling, I don't know. But I cannot seem to communicate with Quabbin. I've asked Nancy, she's his music teacher, to help. I can't get an answer from Quabbin, they don't know who's gonna have the band next year. So that's one thing. And the
Well,
other,
let's stop them for a minute there.
okay,
We can't wait too long.
that's right.
So, what do you recommend as far as
I
getting
mean,
an
I will
answer?
call again now, today's the first day of school. I will call them again today.
Now,
and
when
see
you
what-
call, who do you ask for, or who's your contact person?
Well, I'll call whoever's there for now to principal, and I will ask them, can I talk to the
Well, there's a
person
band
who's in
director.
charge
There's-
of scheduling the band? I need to talk to the person in charge who's scheduling the band.
Cause there is a band
for
director,
Memorial Day.
and he is also in charge of the Barry, cause that
Yes.
was the one I spoke to.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Nancy spoke to him, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so,
so
but you don't
whoever's
know
in
his name?
charge,
You know his name?
I don't have it off the top of my
But you
brain.
know who it is though?
Yes,
Okay,
and
then
Nancy
you,
knows who it is,
I'd
yes, I
recommend
have it.
leaving the message for that individual.
I'll call,
Mhm.
yes, I will call. on that to see if we can find quorum, but in the meantime, I wonder, like, they have a policeman's band, don't they?
The state police pipes and drums.
Yeah, what do you think, could we look into that? That would be so fun.
Yeah, absolutely, state
I
police.
could, I
mean-
can reach out and see if they'd be interested in,
Would you do that?
attending.
Okay, we'll do
Yeah.
that, Brian. Yes, and if we let them know far enough ahead of time, and we know, you know, we can tell them, we know we're a small town, but last year we had 2,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And why can't we make this small town be big? I don't see why we can't.
Right.
So to have that state police, then wouldn't that be wonderful?
There's other ones too,
There's other
pipes
ones-
and drums, but they're like,
And they have
like
an honor
Worcester-
guard too, don't they?
They do, like the Worcester Fire Department has their own, and, there's several, Worcester Police Department is,
There's somebody said
Do you
something
wanna
about
look out to-
correction about.
I'll just, get one of them, I'll try to get one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
But you
reach
wanna
out to
reach
them
out-
first, and then, you can
Go on.
adjust from there,
Perfect.
to different ones if you'd like, and
Correct.
see if we can get somebody.
Oh, that's great.
But yes, they do have like an honor guard.
Cause that's the number one thing right away, cause I know that's so hard to get, it's so hard to get the bands.
So they probably book early.
Yes, and that's why
Some
we're,
of
Some
years
of them,
ahead.
so, yeah, some of them years ahead or,
yeah,
And we don't want the other band back,
no,
so. And they did reach out to me and say, would you like to consider next year? And I said, oh, thank you, so
no.
Yeah.
I was polite,
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't
it's
say
always good to be polite. You
NFW.
So the other thing is the militia, they did a beautiful job and everything, and they were very accommodating, and I'd love to find a spot for them. But do you think we could have the regular guys who do the guns? They usually do it. Don't they do it a little bit better? You know, when they do the guns that go off. You know, I don't know.
Our Hubbardson motion?
Yeah, I mean, our Hubbardston militia was wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they weren't wonderful, and I'm thinking they're very accommodating. But for next year, do you think we ought to have it? I don't wanna say anything bad, but you know what I'm trying to say, when they do that salute, they usually have the military guys, do this with the three guns.
Talking about an Army, Navy versus our local militia?
Yeah.
Remember
I
now,
mean, I don't
they
know.
can't carry weapons, they can't transport weapons, that was the,
So
in
how do
civilian
they,
vehicles, right.
yeah.
how
It
do
has to
they,
be in a military vehicle.
so is that something we can, request a military vehicle to transport those for us to have them? Is that something
What was the
can
issue
be
that
done?
they didn't have a military vehicle for them
Available.
to come in, right?
Yeah,
I
and
think
I had
we
him,
Right.
I had him locked in 6 months in advance.
Right.
And then he said there was one issue, and that related to carrying a weapon. And he said, I'm not sure I can get around that. And then when I checked a little further, I said, don't bother, I don't want you to get in any kind of a problem. And then we were hoping to have, 5 or 6, and we ended up with 3. It was great,
Mm-hmm.
and they did a nice job, but it's a matter of personnel. And we were able to get the one right in Gardner, the unit
Right.
from Gardner.
But they get their vehicles from Leominster.
And they don't have many in the backyard, I looked,
Right.
and so it's very difficult to get that. But we can reach out to them again and say, if there's a possibility that you could include a gun salute, not 21 anymore, but then we'd like that, but
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe not.
is there a way we can request to have that? That was just my thought, just,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of ways to make it just a tiny bit better than we had it the year before. And that way when we put out all our information, all our stuff, and we get all, just one little step better, which I think would help.
would you like me to reach out to them and ask them if they can come again next year? Make the initial, because that's a form you gotta fill out and so on.
Now,
Right
who was
up to
that,
the
who was that?
Joy Force headquarters
Yeah.
in Hanscom.
That's where it went, yeah. And then they designated, it was either a Worcester group, the 29th, or the Gardner group.
Right, they tag a unit.
They
to
tagged
do it.
exactly right, Sheila, yeah. Or can you do that?
I was gonna suggest maybe I can do that since they know me.
That's great,
Yes,
yeah.
that's
So,
great.
Okay.
Yeah, and the earlier the better for that. And then see if there's a possibility that they can designate a vehicle where they
My question is, how does the, like, Legion do their honor guards at cemeteries
That
on
I
Memorial Day?
don't know. I
Because,
don't know how that works.
alright,
There's maybe, I don't know if maybe
Let
there's
me-
some kind of loophole or something in the, you know, where it's, they can
Put
go
in the
to
trunk.
here, but they can't go here.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know.
I'll find
I
that
don't know
out.
how that works.
Okay, so
I'll find
Sheila's
out
gonna
about
check
the
on that.
honor guard and, I'll talk to Joint Force Headquarters. I'm not sure if it's too early to put it in for Memorial Day, but
I
can
started
put a
in
bug
like,
in their ear
I
and-
started in
and-
November,
okay.
and I started in November with Monty Tech. And then the sergeant there said, get back to me April 1st. I said, but I wanted to put a bug in his ear, so, and I think the early bird helped with that too.
You too. Let's see, what was my next thing? So this year, I think that we need to have a treasurer. Cause what happened last time, I thought, I have a treasurer for my COA account. So I had a Memorial Day account, but then it wasn't a Memorial Day account, it was a different account. Anyways, it went somewhere else. And I could use that account to do that. So I have a treasurer. I thought he put in all the bills. I got information that made me lead to think that he did. I got his write-out of what needed to be paid and everything. Well, then Skip came to me and said, Claude, I didn't get my, I said, you didn't, let me look that up. So I'm looking it up, and then I called, and I emailed you, I emailed Joyce, I said, did you get your check? They didn't. So we had to rectify that, which we did. I even called Taylor Rental to let them know, and they were gonna get the money, cause I didn't wanna leave them hanging and thinking we weren't gonna pay. It was an oversight with my treasurer. I think this committee should have its own treasurer. So somebody needs to step up to the plate, and I need to hand you the bill. I don't wanna have that on my dish, it's too much.
I recommend you table that for the next meeting when we have more members here,
Alright.
that we can, then talk somebody into doing it.
Did I give out my wrong paper?
Yeah, I got a
was
few
gonna
calls from Taylor Rental.
Oh, that's mine, that's, okay, yeah, you did, but you didn't call me then. Cause I called them as soon as I found out that was, I thought it was paid. I assumed it was paid because I had already given it to my treasurer to pay in the account. I thought it was paid. I didn't know it wasn't paid, so you should have called, I only found out because Skip, I would've never found out. Then I had to reinvestigate, and then I emailed you, and I emailed Joyce and everybody, I said, oh Jesus, nobody got paid. So then I called Taylor Rental and I said, listen, there was an oversight, I'm
They
sorry,
understood,
you'll
right?
be getting your check right away, call me if you haven't got it within a certain amount of time, and we squared away, absolutely. But anytime something like that happens, let me know right away if there's someone, because
I
that's
stopped
an
in and
oversight.
talked to them, they're okay,
Yeah, it was
because
an
otherwise
oversight.
we get no chairs next year.
No,
Yeah,
they will give you
really.
cheers,
Well,
won't they?
I
If it
checked.
takes them 6 months to
They
get
will,
paid.
Yeah.
because,
Yeah,
it was
you don't
just an
want that.
oversight.
That's
And-
why
and
I
in fact,
stopped
I'll
it.
call him again and just make sure
Oh, good.
to, cause I called him and talked to him, and he was very pleasant.
Yeah.
And he was very understandable, so I think this committee should have its own treasurer.
No chairs for you. No.
No, you- yeah.
Just show up, there's a
You
little pad,
stop.
No,
cardboard
okay.
pad.
Yeah.
I don't wanna make excuses for myself, but there was a lot going on then. My husband was very sick, I was just, there was a lot going on, so
It's taken care of.
it's all set. So, okay,
So don't say, if you want me to do that, I'd be more than happy to.
no, I'm gonna start giving it, I'm not gonna start saying
But
I'll
you'd
do
be
it.
willing
to do
I'll
it.
do
I'd be
it. I'm
willing to.
not doing it, no more,
It's
no
not
more.
enough. I mean,
No.
it's not that.
I
many.
used to take care of the expenses where I was.
Well, we can do anything, and then we
Yeah.
can vote on it next
Yeah,
meeting.
next
meeting.
Alright, let's vote on it the next meeting, put it in the minutes, so we
Yeah.
know we're gonna vote
Okay.
on that. And the chairperson, I think we should vote on whoever you want to be chairperson.
At the next meeting?
At the next meeting, let's
Mhm.
vote on who you think you want to have for the chair. Write all that down.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we got those two things, great.
Yeah.
So now, we were gonna talk about ideas for next year's parade. We thought we would throw some out there and see what we could do to make it special.
You know, the Hubbardston militia, you said that they did a good job. Now, are they Civil War? They're revolutionary, right? I wonder if we could do something to make it bigger. You know, like have them bivouac behind the school for maybe the weekend or something, so that when parents bring their kids, cause that's really who you want, they could go see them bivouacking, or however you put it. You know?
What do you mean by bivouacking?
Well, how they cook and sleep.
Camp.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh, okay.
You would call it camping.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't know.
Maybe even to pursue that a bit, I think it's a good idea. We'd have to, because the demographics are fairly older,
Mhm.
and do they have the equipment to do that? And do they? I would say if they set up that morning, and people versus them being there for the weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then getting permission from the church, and I think the appropriate place would probably be behind the church. Is that what you were kind of thinking?
I don't know,
That would
I
probably be better than
was
behind the
thinking,
school.
I was thinking down the valley in the school, but,
Cause I just don't
I
think
think
you're gonna
that's a
get a
great
lot
idea.
of foot traffic way over there.
yeah,
You'd have more this way.
okay.
So,
Well, I was
Yeah,
thinking
I
the
think-
ice cream social afterwards,
yes.
you know, but that's okay.
And we could have the speaker, make a announcement once we break down. Please spend a couple of minutes, go out to the back,
Mhm.
see, how soldiers of old, or old soldiers,
Yeah.
used to in camp. If the American Heritage Museum in Hudson does a couple, they do a Revolutionary War, they do a Civil War, and then do a World War II reenactment over the course of the summer or their season, and they do a wicked good job. The guys are there all weekend, but
Yeah.
they're basically part-time, full-time reenactors, so, and perhaps, just a little more, if this group could contact another group that might do it, and they might have all the equipment and stuff, and make it an alliance, make it a group effort, that has.
You mean like from different towns?
Yeah, well, not necessarily, it could be different groups.
Groups,
That
right,
because one
right.
group might be 4 or 5 different towns.
Yeah.
So, morning, Matt. How are ya? Good, thanks. And, but I think that has merit if in fact we designated the theme to be Revolutionary War. Same would be Civil War, because Hubbardston did participate in the Revolutionary War, and then in Shays' Rebellion after, and
Yeah.
but Civil War, we had an incredible high presence, as we know, we lost 44
Yeah.
men.
I thought they were
So,
three.
Civil War, but we don't have a Civil War group. We already have the militia
Apologize.
that's set up for Rev War. But that's worth talking about some more, but we have to, we certainly would want to include the locals for
Right.
that. And
Is there,
and
is.
Skip would be,
Yeah.
one of the ones that would know more.
So
about that.
would he know, like, are there still families that have been here for generations? Do those families possibly, whoever was involved in like the Revolutionary War, do they still have family members here in town?
I don't know, yeah.
And
I imagine so.
that might be
I would
an
imagine.
interesting, if we could get, maybe they may have some artifacts or something like that have been passed down through the generations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the recent coverage of Jonas Clock in the Worcester paper and, the building that and now and all
Mhm.
that was kind of neat. And then they did another one Sunday with a home he owned in Worcester, and they went into a lot of detail about how he was born here and so on and so forth, and became, such an entrepreneur and philanthropist, so a different era. But
Mhm.
maybe we could do something with a Jonas Clock theme,
Yeah.
because he was so big. I mean, he started with carriages and then became a sutler and a supplier, and literally the building here, the house, Clark University.
Yeah.
I mean, just,
He was my relative.
oh, really, you're related to him?
My last name is Clark.
Ah, where's all your money?
I know. I know. None.
You-
None. Very distant. Very distant.
Yeah, cause you grew up in
Let's have a
Princeton.
digging party at your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Very
that's
distant.
just extemporaneous, I'm just,
Yeah.
but, I mean, that's it has a lot of visibility,
Yeah.
and I don't think anybody's ever done it before. And there's a lot of information about it,
Mhm.
and now I'm really extemporating, but if you could have, you know, sometimes you have speakers that can like dress up like them, and if you could give the presentation, you know, that's awesome.
So
Short and sweet.
does that, how would we put that into Memorial Day? Jonas, I know we want Clark University, I know we had all that, but I didn't read the article, so I guess maybe there's something in there.
Yeah.
How would it put it in with,
I would say it would be more related to Hubbardston developing and having a community building that many meetings were held in, including veterans meetings. He supplied more of the 49ers, the gold miners out in California, and did a lot that way. I'm not sure that he supplied military supplies or that he was a veteran, but guaranteed, because his family stayed here.
Mhm.
I'll bet there was, I mean, if we went over to the memorial, looked at, I bet there were clocks that were in the service,
oh, sure.
because, you know, I'm sure that they were also patriots, so, but it would be an interesting theme,
Mhm.
you know.
Or
So-
even if you know, like, when you look at this, you say, because you said it at the last meeting, there were 44 who died in the Civil War, and 3 that died in World War I, and 11 that died in World War II. We didn't talk about the Revolutionary War,
Not at all.
and maybe if we made it Revolutionary War and we knew who was it in town that was serving, you know, even at the Shays Rebellion, and did a little.
I'm not related.
And you know,
Darn it, 'cause I was gonna tag you.
kind of get it in, because I think people, when you find out, no, of course, I didn't know that Clark, I knew that Clark University was tied to the library, but I didn't know it was in Worcester's paper. Because who
It was
gets
a really
paper?
good article in the Sunday paper. He
I'll
bought a whole
have-
bunch of land in the Maine South,
Yeah.
in Worcester, and
Yeah.
was very much involved in that. And he never lived, you know, in the building that he built. That was for his brother. But and
Yeah.
of course, very good.
Yeah.
But I think
If we
we can
took-
bring up those at the next meeting again and still have time to plan.
Yeah, because there's some work that's gotta be done, and maybe Gary Kangas probably already has it
Yeah,
done,
yeah.
I wonder.
Well, he probably has a lot of information that.
Yeah, and there's, you know, in the history book, there's a chapter on, you know, the River War, but I know that it's prior to, a group went to Worcester and actually took over the courthouse, and, you know, then they had to bring in the federal troops to get rid of them and stuff like that, so.
He also talked about honoring today's veterans.
Well, we brought up
Last time we brought that up.
getting a speaker, a Congressional Medal of Honor, that's what we brought up.
Yes.
And I reached out, found contact for, there's like a speakers guild for, you know, we were thinking about getting a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient that's alive. And I found.
Cause they make better speakers.
Yeah, yeah, as opposed to the alternative, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just saying.
I passed that all along to Tom Collier. And Tom said he would follow up on that because I felt that he would be a better person to reach out, you know, being a retired veteran. And he said he would take care of that. I haven't had a conversation about that in the last month and a half or so, but it was after our meeting. I did a little research, found out that they do have speakers. And because we talked about that, and then, you know, making that the theme, and then talking about his career and possibly that time frame of Hubbardston's history, whether it be Vietnam or Korean War, you know. not many in World War II. Veterans would be A, alive, and B, willing to speak.
So what I'm thinking, and it's just a thought, I'm just gonna throw it out there, let you know what my brain is thinking. I'm thinking that today's vets, we're living in today's time. What can we do to make the younger people realize and learn more about our veterans and Memorial Day and this and that? And we have a lot of veterans that have children that are younger and have things that they're dealing with also, that, and I don't know if they've ever been honored in a very special way. And so if we were to target all our younger veterans, not saying that the older shouldn't be here, to help honor them, or all our people that have served in the war in the last whatever, that we will get more support from the families, the parents. If it was my son, I would be there. If it was his children, they would be there. To make it a nice event and to attract more people and to help them learn more about what Veterans Memorial Day is about, help the kids know. I know my kids, my grandchildren were very proud of their grandfather, you know. So, I would think that we would, for this year, target, since we did the Vietnam, we would target our veterans, Sheila's age, you know, that are living today.
Younger and Sheila. Did
No.
you hear that, right?
No, but what I'm just saying is,
Oxymoron.
is that era of all, you
No,
know,
actually,
after
yeah.
Vietnam, the
My
vets
my
after
nephew has
Vietnam.
asked, he said, so when are they gonna do a memorial for us?
Absolutely.
And I said, well, that's something you need to get involved with.
Him literally.
Yeah,
Is he a local?
yeah, he's a local.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
So-
mean, it may,
What do you think about that, Chip? A
Um,
contemporary theme for veterans.
I like it. I was just thinking maybe like each year, kind of, we did Vietnam, obviously, and then do this current war, and then go back, and each year kind of focus on
the
you know,
others.
the other wars, and just kind of do a loop. It
Because
would
this
be
way-
every so many years, but when you said that this war has gone on for so long that people just come and go, and people forget that you could be talking to somebody like, I deployed 19 years ago, but somebody else, Michelle, was 10 years ago, the chaplain, and you know, then we have other people who are just came back.
Yeah.
In
Same
fact,
war.
And same
Um,
home, right?
Gardner,
Same
yeah.
conflict.
the Gardner, was it the Gardner unit or the engineer unit? No, it's the Gardner unit, was the last people to pull out of Afghanistan. So, you know, they came home, but it's happened for so long, it's just a normal part of life.
Yeah.
That people aren't celebrating the units coming home, and so, I think that's a good idea.
How would you
think it's
build
a-
on that to make it a program?
I thought it was a good idea, wasn't it,
I think we need to research that, and we need to
I-
really,
Yeah, I think, so for one, when you were talking about, the Medal of Honor, sometimes those come with a hefty price. But I actually am friends with when Boston Marathon happened, the Boston Marathon bombing happened, and, there was a group of National Guard people that had just finished their line. The senior ranking, the NCO that was with that group just happens to be a friend of mine. But, you know, pulling that in and talking about how, you know, one day I'm just doing the tough rock, the next moment I'm doing, recovery and rescue kind of thing, so.
And triage. and-
Yeah. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe we can find somebody recently that, and I'm sure we have people in the area that have, physically suffered from the war, that can talk about how, you know, the war, and like I signed up for money. I signed up 'cause my brother made me. but I was in for 18 years before the war started, so it was nobody thought there was gonna be war. So I'm sure I could, if I put out the feelers and start looking for some veterans in town with the veterans list, maybe I can find somebody who, can speak that's lost a limb or, because I think that would show people that, this is happening, younger people, and kind of pull that crowd in and have a story of, because we forget, when we look at veterans, we look at a Vietnam veteran and he's in his 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
So we always think veterans are old, so pulling in that younger
Yeah.
group and having them speak.
Absolutely.
So let me see
Great
if I
idea.
can find out.
I
Super
think,
idea.
I think it's gonna,
And I think that would honor that person too, by saying, we wanna honor you.
that we count,
Yeah.
and I think it will open a lot of eyes for the younger generation coming in. I think it's gonna open a lot more eyes, I think it's gonna bring a lot more, knowledge to people, it's gonna let them understand what this is really all about, and that there's,
We have a better opportunity there to
Yeah.
involve the schools too, cause then you
Yes,
have the
yes.
generation,
And their
the middle
parents
and
or their,
high
you know,
school and even,
Yeah,
Yeah.
my neighbor down the
Elementary
street,
school.
but he won't come because he has feelings that there's another lady, Mr. LaBrousse. I talk to his wife all the time, he won't come, he's young, but he's got, and now his son is in the military now.
Yeah.
So why don't we honor his son and him? And the same with Paul Sweeney, his children are both, one who has autism is in the military, which is amazing to me.
Yeah.
So there's parents with kids, and kids whose parents, and they're in, so I just think that would be a wonderful honor for everyone, rather than going back to the civil and
Okay.
do that at a later, another time.
All right, I'll find somebody.
Okay, Sheila's all over that.
I'm all over.
Okay, Sheila, good job.
glad you came.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's
You're
good
gonna get up
to,
and
Get this
dance.
off my plate, walk out the door.
Yeah.
we're gonna be glad you
Have
left
another
town,
cookie
because we're gonna
and-
keep you so busy.
No, I think that's a great
No,
idea, I really do, because we really want to involve the younger people who
Yeah.
are the future generations of
Yes.
potential soldiers. And,
Yes.
to show them that it isn't all pomp and ceremony and uniforms and stuff of that nature, but to talk about the real life, as we know, it can be 98% boredom and 2%,
And it's
absolute.
family that's close to them too, it's people that's close and they know, and, I think that's great.
Yeah, and then we have the next 4 years all figured out.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I love that, making the decision, now we know what we can work on.
Right.
Cause we can, I like to do a lot of looking into and seeing and thinking about all that, so it gives us a lot of time, which we need time to make it
Yeah.
right.
Because this one, we're really starting at the very, very beginning.
Yes.
Versus last year, we had the monument and we had a meet
Yeah.
to, and then we just, we had the dressing around it. But this one
Yeah.
requires grassroots and, some person-to-person, one-on-one, because it's one thing to ask somebody to do it, but can they do it? And, are they prepared to do it? And so I think it's gonna getting those people potentially at a couple of meetings and seeing how they feel about it, but that has a wonderful, wonderful ring in my mind.
Good. So, do we wanna vote on that for our theme for this year? Do we wanna pin that rate down,
Why don't we
or just?
see
do you
what
wanna
Sheila
make-
comes back with for some grassroots information, and at the next meeting,
Pin down that?
make sure that everybody knows about it. I mean, I remember the meeting and I wrote it down, but make sure everybody knows about it. Maybe a week in advance, let them know and send the minutes out and say, okay, really need you here because now we're down to brass
Yeah.
tacks. Because before you know it,
Yes, I do.
first of the year.
It was in my calendar.
That helps.
So, I
looked at it
mean,
this
I think we talked, we got a lot talked about it, we got a lot to bring up at the next meeting, to see what we're gonna do. As far as the hats and t-shirts, we're putting that on hold for now, cause we got a lot, I'll check on the date on that, and see what we got left.
I don't
on those.
remember there being
A date,
a date on it, I don't.
alright, give me a second,
Yeah.
let's go get one,
Curious.
let's go get one.
Cause they were a big hit, I mean, a lot of the Vietnam vets that day, the ones that came, you know, and I'll be happy to work on, getting the cars here again. We had 33
Wow.
classic and antique cars. It was
Yeah, those are
phenomenal.
great
Nice.
turnout.
Phenomenal,
That was
yeah.
nice, yeah.
And it was, I really didn't know because they couldn't give me a number. They were talking to the guys, you know, it's a busy weekend, blah, blah, blah.
We were running out of places to put them up here.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this is, 68's not that big anymore.
Yeah.
It's funny how big it looks and how quick it fills.
Filled in quick.
Yeah. But I think that, the ones that came were very happy they came and, you know, I
Can't
followed
find
up with some of the folks.
Can't find them, somebody stole them.
Oh, gosh.
Somebody probably put them in a, let us look.
Could they be in the shed out back?
No, I guess we didn't, they could be in the shed out back.
And then are you're hoping to go to Florida like you did last time? And
Yes.
maybe have, you know.
Well, if everything goes good and things keep going the way they are, yes.
And then Monty Tech did the t-shirts, so they could do them again.
Yeah, but they can do a different design. I
Yeah,
always
of course.
think we should do something different for each buddy.
Oh, yeah,
But it didn't have a date on it,
I didn't think so.
no.
It's
Would you-
probably good not to put a date.
Yeah.
'Cause then you can,
Yeah.
Can use them again,
you
so
can,
we
you can sell them or whatever after. you
Yeah,
know, you
yeah.
can-
just change
But
that,
then they
that
become
logo.
collector's items, you know.
That's
You
right.
have the 2021.
I already have mine framed on the wall.
Yeah.
So the only other thing is the hats now, I mean, I don't know, I can look and see, but then Sheila would guide me, I think, on this one, what to get. We have so many Vietnam hats. Cause I was thinking Vietnam, you know, I just was thinking that, and
We can have those out again.
we
Yes.
can pass them to the Vietnam ones, but for the new veterans coming in, we don't want Vietnam
No, you have
hats.
generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get the branch
Like,
of the service.
The hat I got just had the Velcro on the front with the flag. My
Yeah.
son loves it. I mean, I wore it, but my son's like, I love that one. And it was just so generic, and it was just
Just said
a
USA
Velcro.
with a
No,
flag.
it was just the hat that I had was just camouflage with
Did
a
I
Velcro.
get, no, you got it. Well, I just know because I
But-
get the hats so cheap.
No, 'cause it was the only one.
$2 a
Right.
piece, right?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
But yeah, they.
$18 for a dozen.
And they were
Who
great.
doesn't like a good hat,
Yeah.
right?
So, but
Like,
they have
even in
all-
the police
they
force,
have-
who doesn't want
I
a
have
nice
a
Boost and
very
boost and boost
large
of
collection
hats.
of hats.
And they have all different kinds. They have Afghanistan, they have all kinds.
What does he
of hats.
retail them for? I mean, cause you got them for
Oh, I
less
don't
than
know.
$2 a piece.
I never asked him.
Yeah,
So-
but he must have a price up there, $4.99.
No, because this is
Well,
all
it's
the
usually
wholesale section.
700%.
Wholesale section.
Wholesale section of this flea market.
I'm gonna
Going
have her
into
negotiate
all
my future
wholesale.
contracts, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, he probably sells them for $5 at least, $5-10 a
Seems like
hat.
it,
Because when I go to the other flea market, they're a little bit more than this guy down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a bargain
yeah,
price.
cause those hats were nice.
They're nice, they were all made.
They were nice,
They
yeah.
weren't,
So we'll go online and we'll see what different ones look like, and we can point out a few and print them out when I go, if we decide we wanna do that or not, that's okay. But I'll have an idea just in case.
And would you plan on having the ice cream?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah, okay, cause that was a good hit.
That was a good hit, but they decided maybe they wanna just hand out ice cream sandwiches and stuff, but I said, oh, that kinda loses it a little bit, but.
Well, you were
maybe
there
they
for
could.
the whole thing, what did you think? The way it was done?
But see, I love doing the ice cream, and I think they love it. They sit down and they do the ice cream, they sit down for a little while, rather than just grabbing the ice cream sandwiches and I'm out of here, you know? So, and I just say, don't be so skimpy, give me a lot, you know? But, yeah,
And, lines did over 400 hot dogs, that
Yeah.
tells you.
and you know what, there was a
I
lot of
had
people.
300 of them myself.
You did, okay. And here I was figuring
you
two
have these
per.
little disguises, throwing on wigs,
Are you
baseball
planning for
cap.
Coney Island next year or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, I was, you know, practicing.
Yeah, my goodness.
A cool.
How many minutes did it take you to do that? Yeah.
Do it.
But the
Yeah, I think
Lions
the
would
Lions
be, I
We
think
should
that-
reach out to them again.
Yeah, I would say so.
I'm gonna reach out to them early, I'm gonna get commitments early, cause then that's just one thing off the list.
Now, how about the seating arrangement? Did that work out okay too? I mean,
At the field, at the rec field?
no, I'm talking about literally out here, where you put the tables out.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think we could do a little bit of a better job on that, but,
Well, how would you
and you know what's
recommend?
nice is that they're gonna be moving that thing that's outside of your police department, that loud, whatever it is, goes on about 2 o'clock, and it's loud,
Oh, the generator.
that generator, is that a generator or
Oh,
is that a?
because it kicks on at, yes.
Yeah.
Test
It's
it.
it's
That's
it's
horrible.
a test to make sure that it runs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They,
what
the
is that,
school does it too.
is that a generator?
It's set on a timer.
Yeah.
Are they gonna be moving that when they put in your new, are you getting air conditioning?
It's in.
Oh, it's in?
It's running.
Oh, so they're not moving it?
Yep.
How do you
Oh,
like
okay,
it?
they're not moving it.
It's cold in there.
You have air conditioning
We
now?
have air conditioning.
Ooh,
Wow.
Dennis will.
Yep. Yep, last week my office was 88 degrees. This week it's 62.
Nice.
You can't make me go home.
It's quite the difference. It was got a little chilly in there. I had to turn it up.
Put a sweater
You
on.
turn the heat on over here.
Yeah.
So
So
you
but
get
other
in
than
touch with
that,
Alliance? Yeah.
I'll get in touch with Alliance and I'll talk to the Golden Ages and see if they wanna do the ice cream, or maybe the Friends will do the ice cream. So we'll take that little portion off our plate.
But did you have enough places for people to sit?
I think we did.
Okay.
I think we did, yeah,
I
and they
never
came
got down there
inside
until
too,
much
which
later.
was nice, cause we have the air in there and stuff, if they wanted it. But there was, and I think, I think it worked out pretty good.
Well,
The Lions Club had everything ready, so they just took they had it all ready, they didn't have to wait in line. So they did a good job, I mean, making sure everything was all set
Great.
for everybody. And I think they enjoyed doing that too, they were very nice,
They do a good job.
they were very nice.
And then you mentioned cleanup. I think the scouts were involved in.
The scouts,
They did
they did the
set up
rec
the
field,
chairs.
right, yep,
They set up the chairs and they took the chairs down. That was a lot of help,
yes.
you know. But I went by and cleaned up all the barrels after. But and you can't. That's something that can't be done at 1 o'clock. It's got to be
Right.
done later. So we couldn't ask the scouts to stay around. But if we had a couple more volunteers,
To clean up
I
the
got the
just
pickup truck
tables
and
stuff.
trash bags and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, in the minutes, we mentioned the things that we need to improve on.
Mhm.
And those are things we have to designate for people to do,
right.
at a future meeting.
And we
Say,
did-
okay,
we
who's
did-
gonna do the umbrellas, who's gonna do this and that, who's gonna do the cleanup? And,
We did
I'll-
talk about putting pop-ups.
without a doubt. Claudia, let me know if you can't get through or get an answer from Quabbin as
Quabbin.
far as, and I'll pursue it again. I mean, squeaky wheel.
Just wanna know who, we just wanna
understand.
know what town gets them, so we know what we gotta do.
You gotta
But if we
know.
could have 2 bands, would even be just as great, if we could get,
Well, they must know if it's even planned yet, right?
it should be
Well, they planned
I
it
would
for
think-
Hardwick,
Yep.
and
And
then
they didn't
Hardwick
do it.
said no. So my
Who was
sense
it?
is that, okay, you go back in the queue and then
Yeah,
5
we-
years from now, you get it again.
Right.
Why would you put off another town who is now thinking about having it based on knowing they're gonna be available?
And because Barry got it, does that bump thing?
Yeah, because Barry ended up with a bigger, because they have community
Yeah.
band, as well as the band that would have played the high school band.
Right.
So they had a pretty good turnout, so, but I don't know that they get bumped. But I thought
Well,
that,
no, I mean, I'm just saying,
We're gonna make it
if
so
they were
big
again
that
next
bands are gonna
year,
call us and wanna be in our
because they
parade.
did it last.
Because we're gonna be so big.
I think Tom
Then you'll
said
be
it
turning
was,
some away.
That's right, no way, you didn't want us before, we'd ordered it up.
yeah. I thought Tom Collier said 2023 was our turn.
Yeah, and that was very good for a small town. It's gonna be bigger. Yeah. 2023. All right, so, I have nothing else. Does anybody have anything else?
No, except to set up a date for the next meeting.
Okay. Calendar. So, this is our August. I think we should have one
September.
October or September, or maybe if you wanna put it off, but September would be good because we can get things down and we'll know where we are. We can get other people's feelings on it, but I don't wanna, what do you think? Are we overkill? But I don't think we can be overkill if we want it special. It's up to you guys, whatever you want to do.
I think
Does that
October,
issue-
I think October, so there's plenty of time.
Okay, October,
And that gives everybody a chance to do a little bit of the grassroots.
okay.
What do you think, Shel?
I think that would be great,
Okay,
October.
yeah, cause you got, you know, some work cut out.
Okay, so October, we're gonna keep it on a Wednesday morning, is that good? For everybody?
Mhm.
11 o'clock?
Does that bump into what you're trying to do next door?
Oh, yes, it does.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. So we can do one or 9?
As opposed to 11?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's
Why is
something
that?
else going on.
Okay, I got
Something
you.
else, we have something else well, first tell me the date, what date do you have in October?
5, 12, 19, or 26.
Isn't 12 the Columbus Day?
No.
It is, yeah.
12th is the day after Columbus Day, 2 days after
Yeah,
Columbus
that's
Day.
still okay.
So
And
what's the
19th
week?
is the Veterans Coffee Social.
Do you wanna do the 19th?
Yes, at 11, at 11.
Okay.
Inside joke.
19th.
Was that wrong?
Oh,
I think we can move our
Good
thing to
planning.
1 o'clock,
one, okay,
Coordination.
to move our,
okay.
because
So we're gonna
our
decide on
6
the
weeks is
19th?
over on the
Just
12th.
keeps people
Oh.
focused, that's
And
all.
we decided we were going
Keeps
to.
them focused.
Okay.
So October 19th at 11 a.m.
No, October 12th.
October 12th, or I thought we said the
I thought
19th.
that we said.
19th?
October 19th at 11 a.m.
I thought you said that was your.
Yeah, that's 9 to 11, so if we do this meeting at 11, it gives
Oh, okay.
people, and it keeps them focused and not
Yeah,
telling
and she
you the
doesn't
life
have to
story.
keep coming back.
So it really gives
Oh.
me enough.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude, it's just,
That's the way it is.
Okay,
There is a potential of
It's
any of the,
yeah,
any of the veterans that might come to that would be, come to this, to our meeting?
um,
I'm just,
any guests that we are always.
well, last month we didn't have anybody show up, right? The month before we had like 3 or 4, but they were all older,
I understand.
so.
John
thinking-
was there.
Oh, this is a good question. So who's running the sign? The new sign? Electronic sign? Is it you guys?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Okay.
It's not us.
Because I'm
I believe
thinking
maybe
that should
Katie
be.
Young would have an idea.
Okay, because they're already running stuff for September.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking your thing should be up on that sign all month, you know,
Absolutely.
it's running all month, and after your day, then it goes, okay, September is, I'm just, the 20th, I'm just throwing out a date. And now you know that the 12th of, or the 19th of October is your next one. After the September one goes, then we put coffee with a vet agent, October 19th, 9 to 11, all veterans welcome and their family.
But you're still doing the sign directly.
Yes. Yes, we have we can put stuff on that as well.
Did you
Oh.
take down our little garden party yet? I
Is it
noticed-
still up there?
It might be. I noticed it was up there.
I
After it
can
was over.
we can get that turned off
Yeah, that might
for
be a
now
good
until a
idea.
new
Yeah.
new message needs to go up.
Yeah.
I
Yard
believe
sale.
the
Yard sale. The yard sale's gonna be huge, Ryan.
get us a message.
Yes,
I'll
and
get it
I
up
wanted,
there.
I wanted to mention to you that we would like to set up on that. I'd like to start putting the tents up on Wednesday night. It shouldn't interfere with the traffic going around for the school,
Mhm.
but I could get at least the tents setting up.
Yeah, you're gonna take your
Yeah.
parking spots over here and then
Yes.
at the top again.
Yes,
Okay.
just that, I mean, people could still get by.
Yeah.
But I'd like to do that because it's too much work to try to squish it all in that small time. Once
Yeah, just start setting up after
after school.
drop off on
On
Wednesday or at pickup on whatever time you wanna start it. It's
Yeah.
fine. Just while they're coming through to pick up or drop off, not
Just
be
get out of
setting
the
up
way.
so that
Yeah.
because you know it
And the
doesn't.
other thing is, who owns this parking lot in back of the school?
The school.
I wanna get a pod because I have no storage. My senior center is full of stuff. And we got more
I
people who
believe the
drop it
school I believe the school owns it.
So I do have calls
You
into them
could
again.
talk to,
nobody calls back.
Lori, just to be sure.
I
She-
did.
Okay.
I just wanna double check with you, just
Yeah,
to
she
see.
would know, that for sure, I'm not
I called
100%
here and I called the
positive.
other, no.
I would think it's the school. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know, who would be,
I'm gonna get a-
authorizing you to be able to drop a pod there or whatever.
I'm gonna get a dumpster too.
For after the yard sale?
Yeah, I'll have it there during the whole time, I'll have it there the week before.
Oh, yeah.
Because as we unload boxes, if it's broken or whatever, you know how people.
Well, I know, yes, yes.
So we'll just, so it'll be there, it's much easier. So that will probably that can go over here or either in the back. I'll check
Alright,
with the
so you're gonna
school.
need more room now? For your yard sale?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
We're hoping.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
So, you could take up the back part of the parking lot by the road,
Okay, good.
you know, those spots right.
Yes, up in the back.
You had the outer perimeter of the lot,
We had this whole, whole
Yep.
side. Yeah,
so just get me a thing on that,
put it on the sign.
I'll have Sergeant Ford put it up on the signboard for you.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Are we gonna adjourn the meeting or are we?
I was gonna say, we're
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about all
sorry.
these other
All
things that have
set.
nothing to do with the meeting. I was thinking the same thing, I was like, we need to adjourn the meeting.
At 12:02?
12:02.
Somebody second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
I don't believe anybody would not be in favor of it, so.
No.
That was good, it's
Yeah.
just a small one.
Thank
fine.
you.
So yes, if you get me in the,
What I wanna say on the sign,
yes, I'll get it
Put
put up
that
there.
up.